One of the things that's always intrigued me was the black bear.
The history of black bear are actually an interesting one in New Jersey.
This bear population of the last 20 years has gone way beyond anybody's expectations.
Fear is a public safety issue.
Every year we get a number of calls of black bears are breaking into homes.
We just have a vocal minority that are opposed to hunting, and they get a lot of good information out in the press.
This has been an amazing feat to take a season that was closed and get it reopened.
Boone and Crockett Country, presented by Loophole.
In 1942, an animated film about a young deer having to grow up alone in the wild after a hunter killed his mother premiered in movie theaters across the country and around the world. Walt Disney's Bambi instantly became a children's classic. In 1988, another filmmaker brought hundreds of thousands of viewers The Bear, a movie about an orphan bear cub who throughout the movie is being chased by hunters. In 2006, Open Season, an animated film about woodland animals teaming up against hunters, debuted in theaters, followed by the sequel in 2008. In these widely distributed films, and others like them, animals are depicted as having human-like qualities. Seeing animals, whether animated or real, that have the ability to talk, understand the past, or have concerns about the future, is entertaining, especially to children. Such films, however, leave wildlife professionals and sportsmen torn, if not infuriated. On the one hand, they entertain our children. On the other, they are teaching children and society that hunters and hunting are bad. Just as concerning as these anti-hunting messages made mainstream are, of even more concern is the humanizing of wildlife. Through such films and other children's stories, elevating animals to having human-like qualities has given rise to a new movement being fostered by animal activist groups, animal personhood. Animal personhood is an incremental action to grant human rights to animals, including their right to sue in court. For just as long as man has used wildlife resources, sportsmen have been asking themselves just exactly what it is behind the anti-hunting movement that has so many passionately involved to the point of questioning historical data, science, and what has proven to be the best bet for wildlife. The answers may be linked to this belief in animal personhood and the philosophical disagreement that wildlife is a resource at all. While all wildlife has been humanized in one form or another, there is one species in particular that has been pushed by activist groups into the courts and through political process more so than any other: the black bear. Whether it is bear hunting in general or the use of bait or hounds to hunt them, the anti-hunting movement has gained more traction obstructing black bear hunting than the hunting of any other species. Case in point, New Jersey. As the director of New Jersey Fish and Wildlife explains, the history of black bear hunting and management in New Jersey has been a roller coaster ride.
The history of black bear are actually an interesting one in New Jersey. We have a Fish and Game Council like many states. Their responsibility is to set seasons and bag limits. They actually afforded the black bear game status, I believe, back in the 50s. And that afforded the black bear protection from indiscriminate killing. What they realized is that people weren't killing too many. So in the 70s, they closed the season, the black bear, and it never reopened again until 2003.
After the first successful bear season in 30 years, Anti-hunters put an end to the black bear hunting in New Jersey, and along with it, bear population management. There were enough people and enough in high places who believed that hunting black bears was wrong and must be stopped.
Well, we actually had our first successful hunt in 2003, where we issued about 3,000 permits, and the hunters were successful at harvesting almost 300 black bear. The year after that, as you can imagine, you've experienced it, it's a very emotional issue, hunting of black bear, and for a variety of reasons, none of which were related to wildlife management, legal challenges shut the season down in 2004.
Since 2003, black bear hunting has been shut down in New Jersey. In this day and age, once a hunting season is taken away, it rarely makes it back on the books. Thankfully for the citizens and the black bear of New Jersey, such was not the case in 2010. Bear hunting was brought back.
Boone and Crockett Country is in partnership with the Wild Sheep Foundation, putting and keeping sheep on the mountain, and the Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation and ethical hunting worldwide.
Keck is a sportsman, having spent much of his professional career guiding the efforts in re-gifting the wild turkey back to the land and the people through his role as CEO for the National Wild Turkey Federation. Keck is now a professional member of the Boone and Crockett Club, serves on the boards of other conservation organizations, and is chairman of Bass Pro Shop's Wonders of Wildlife Museum in Springfield, Missouri. His background in conservation and hunting advocacy made him aware of just how special the reinstatement of a New Jersey black bear season was to reclaiming ground that had been lost. Participating in this hunt was something he could not pass up.
One of the things that's always intrigued me, having grown up in Pennsylvania, not far from this place, only about 2.5 hours from where I stand right now, was the black bear. It was one that, of course, back when I was a child, was very few in numbers. But just as it was in Pennsylvania and now here in New Jersey, that population has grown significantly. This bear population of the last 20 years has gone way beyond anybody's expectations, and the season was closed down in 2005. This has been an amazing feat to take a season that was closed and get it reopened.
For any sportsman to participate in the 2010 hunt, attending a bear education seminar was required, which was part of the state's overall management plan. In New Jersey, baiting bears is a legal hunting method, although elevated stands cannot be within 300 feet of the bait site. Based on good scouting and guidance by friends and wildlife officials, after his seminar, Keck set his bait and stand location the day before the season opener. All that was left to do now was wait, put in his time, and hope for favorable weather conditions that would put the bear on the move during daylight hours. The chain of events surrounding bear hunting in New Jersey are valuable lessons in how a vocal minority, with the help of liberal media, can sway decision makers to turn their back on good science and the systems that have effectively managed wildlife for decades. This is to say that anti-hunters were not successful by themselves. They had help from state politicians who ultimately made the final decision to close down bear hunting. It's a reoccurring problem in areas with a top-heavy urban population carrying the vote over a smaller rural population. Many people want wildlife, but do not know how to live with them.
In New Jersey, we're a very urban state, and we continue to grow with people, so the challenges of managing wildlife on that urban interface have always been interesting, to say the least. It's always a challenge, but I have to tell you, when you think about black bear in New Jersey, I think of a wildlife success story. Back in 1900, after the Industrial Revolution, we didn't even have black bear in New Jersey. And now just the northern third of the state, you have more than 3,500 animals. I mean, that's just truly remarkable.
The director mentions a very urban state. The Garden State ranks 46th in the country in size, but is the 11th most populated at nearly 9 million residents. Like anywhere with an increasing human population, there comes increased human development. More space taken by people leaves less habitat for wildlife. In a state with black bears and habitat loss, plus no bear population management, and more people living further and further out in bear country, bear-human conflicts are inevitable. In a heavily populated state like New Jersey, the trap and transfer of problem bears was not a solution. There is simply nowhere to send them.
With the bear season having been closed for 5 years here in the state of New Jersey, it's been a real challenge to manage this bear population with this ever-expanding human population. Damage complaints have been up, human-bear interactions have increased, and I was with the bear response team on a Sunday morning when we went to take care of a problem bear that was dispatched by a local police officer. When you've gone as many years since, well, it's been 2005, I guess, since you had the last season.
That's right.
What's happened? What have you seen happen here where you've got bears competing for habitat, living in amongst subdivisions and lots of people? What's happened?
Basically, our complaints continue to escalate every year. We implemented a system where we can basically have a category system in order to address some of these complaints with black bear and people as far as how to address a lot of these issues of what's occurring. Every year we get a number of calls with black bears that are breaking into homes, killing livestock.
Actually breaking into a house.
Yep, going right through the kitchen window and enter the residence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what else? I mean, obviously we see chicken feathers here. You know, this family here lost some chickens overnight.
Yeah.
What else? Are they coming in and bothering pets, humans? What else?
What we see here in New Jersey is we have an animal here that could potentially live over 20 years of age. So now people and all the sounds and sights associated with people, black bear have become very acclimated to all that. So it's not unusual to see a black bear walking in the middle of development, 1 in the afternoon, no care in the world.
To put the bear population in New Jersey into perspective, Boone and Crockett records list the top 5 black bear locations historically as Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Alaska, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. So which of these locations has the highest black bear density?
As a result of not having that component of the population managed through a hunting season, those areas are the northern third of our state. In a state that has more people per square mile, we have more black bear per square mile than anywhere else in North America.
Boone and Crockett Country is in partnership with Buck Knives, knives that fit your life, and the Pope and Young Club, for the good of bow hunting.
With the highest black bear density per square mile in North America and bear-human conflicts off the chart, there was still an embroiled battle to allow the state to manage its bears. In recent times, once hunting has been eliminated, it is very difficult to bring it back. What has to happen is exactly what happened in New Jersey. Common sense, good science, and a bulletproof management plan trumping a purely emotional argument, led in the end by supportive politicians. It's unfortunate that such lessons still need to be learned the hard way. Hopefully, how bear hunting was reinstated will be a lesson for other states fighting these same battles.
That's a testimony to the professionals that you have managing this resource. As this whole thing bubbled through the courts, we have over 30 years of data and research that we've collected on black bear. The courts asked us or mandated us to develop a comprehensive management policy on black bear, which we developed, and it was signed by both our council and the commissioner of the Department of Environmental Protection. And what the courts wanted to see was a comprehensive policy that involved research, it involved education, it involved aversive conditioning, habitat work, and that comprehensive policy involved a hunt. And once the courts were satisfied that we've met all of that criteria, this year it's allowed to move forward.
It's hard to believe that even with all the evidence that bears need to be managed, some people still do not want to see bears killed, even if it is a matter of public safety.
There is a public safety issue. We average 50 home entries or attempted home entries each year. We have livestock killed. We've had 2 or 3 incidences in the last 10 years where people have been attacked by bears, and luckily have only gotten away with minor scratches and wounds. In addition, we average 100 vehicle strikes a year with bears, and when you hit a bear, your car is totaled. Fortunately, no one has been killed in such an incident.
Keck's trip to New Jersey to participate in this pivotal hunt was going according to plan, all except for the hunting itself. Full days were spent on the stand battling brutally cold, single-digit temperatures, high winds, and catching up on the headlines. There was no doubt bear were hitting his bait, but not during daylight hours. In what little downtime he had, Keck did get to participate in another important part of the hunt, the bear check station. Here, all bears taken in the region are checked in, weighed, biological samples taken, and locations of the kill mapped.
How many bears did that make today for this station?
This would have been the 44th bear.
The check station was also a place of gathering, to share stories of the hunt and hear from both sides of the fence, those in favor of the reinstated season and those opposed. When a person is opposed to hunting and the killing of wildlife, it seems nothing softens this position. Not hunting as a wildlife management tool, hunting for public safety, or even economic realities.
It's an economic powerhouse for our state. You know, when you look at hunting and fishing and outdoor recreation in the state of New Jersey, it's a $4 billion industry. It supports 33,000 jobs, and black bear is going to be a component of that. You know, those folks are going to be out. They're going to be spending more money on ammunition. They're going to stop somewhere for breakfast on the way to their hunting spot. And the best thing about it is you're talking small businesses, which is what really keeps the economy rolling.
In the rural area Keck hunted, even though it was less than an hour outside of New York City, most people were supportive of the bear season. Even with all the anti-hunting activity in this country, survey data show at least 77% of citizens still support, accept, or tolerate hunting.
We pretty much follow the national trends on those issues. We just have a vocal minority of folks that, you know, philosophically are opposed to hunting, and they get a lot of good information out in the press. But surveys that are being done show that even when it comes to this black bear hunt, more than 60% of the people that live in the northern part of the state support the black bear hunt.
Pretty big track. I know it's got to be a big male. In fact, that scat back there, it's a male that's probably 300 to 400. Well, he was definitely here last night. It only started snowing the last hour of daylight. Friday evening. This is Saturday morning. This bear is close. We've just been missing him.
As for his New Jersey bear experience, the 6-day season came and went without burning powder in his muzzleloader, but no matter. As a career conservationist, just being part of this small triumph for people and bears was reward enough. This and the plan to return the following season.
Boone and Crockett Country has been brought to you by Leupold, America's Optics Authority, and the Boone and Crockett Club, fair chase and conservation since 1887.
To sportsmen, and thankfully many others, dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moves on the earth, from Genesis 1.28, means to use wild resources with respect and stewardship. However, The notion of equality between man and other life forms is a new and entirely different concept. Domesticated or wild, man cares about animals, birds and fish. That's the good news, and as it should be. It is why we still have wildlife with us. The bad news is, anti-hunting fueled in part by the notion of animal personhood is not a fad. Even with the success seen in New Jersey in overturning a ban on bear hunting, more is coming. Animal rights courses are now being taught in 26 U.S. law schools, and with committees on animal rights law being included in a number of state bar associations, more law schools are adding the curriculum to keep up with the demand.
We believe that we will continue to have a bear hunt in New Jersey. We have a governor who understands wildlife management. He is a supporter of sound science and is a supporter of the bear hunt. I think as we gather data, we can show that we can safely hunt bears and manage them properly.
The real question is, will the 77% majority that still supports hunting feel the same way 20 years from now, 50 years from now? To be sure, the responsibility to educate and lead by good example lies with the true conservationists, to fight the good fight with facts and science, to carry with them the honorable code of fair chase that no one can find fault with, and to become themselves a vocal minority in support of our cherished wildlife legacy.
I think hunters should join organizations that support wildlife conservation and get active in politics. Let their representatives know what their thoughts are regarding wildlife management.
Closed captioning provided by the Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation and ethical hunting worldwide.